From the Detroit Free Press, it's Monday, November 2nd. Here are today's top stories, presented by Bush's Fresh Food Market. Calling all foodies, Bush's is hiring. Are you passionate about food, looking for growth, development, and excellent wages? Come grow with Bush's and apply online at bush's.com/join our team. That's Bush's, BUSCHS.com/join our team.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kerry Jr. II. It's no secret Tuesday is Election Day. Voters are preparing for what's to come tomorrow and beyond. But so are some businesses. Companies in Michigan are offering a half-day or full-day off Tuesday. Businesses say the time off is about more than the election. Free Press reporter Adrian Roberts has information on what else companies are considering. Adrian, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Paid time off for employees on Tuesday. Adrian, what is this about?
I mean, first of all, there's very practical reasons for doing this year, and with expected long lines at the polls, some companies are saying we don't want people to be waiting in line and then go, oh shoot, I got to get back to work. Forget it, I'm not voting this year. So there is a real legitimate reason for doing this, but they also talk about employee health, and one company, Census, which is a small cybersecurity firm in Ann Arbor, said to me, we don't care what employees do with this half day. They're just saying we want to give them some time to do what they want to do and make them feel supported. There's a national movement right now of companies signing on that are going to give employees time off or hook them up with volunteer opportunities. And Home Point Financial is one of those companies in Michigan that joined this national movement. They have nearly 3,000 employees, so they're a big company based out of Ann Arbor. And they're giving employees a paid half day, which is a big deal. And then Herman Miller, which is an 8,000 employee company on the west side of the state, they're also giving their employees time off. So it's some pretty significant players, and GM, Ford, Fiat Chrysler, the big three automakers, they've been doing this for 20 years. But what's new this time around is that these companies are saying they have a very specific reason for giving this day off, and it has to do with the coronavirus and thinking about employee well-being and how to quickly move people to working from home. Then we saw the uprisings over racial injustice earlier this summer, and some employees or employers gave Juneteenth off. The way they position it is this is a continuation of that.
What have business officials said about the financial impact? There'll be a lot of people, or there'll be some people who won't be working.
You know, when I was talking to Home Point Financial, I was interviewing the company's chief financial officer, and it kind of clicked to me like, wait, this is the person who's responsible for the company's bottom line, and she's the one advocating to give employees the half day. And she said, you know, we're going to make it work, we're going to stagger shifts, and we're going to make sure that customer service, the quality doesn't drop just because of this. But they're going to have employees that are off for a whole day because they chose to volunteer. Otherwise, if you're not volunteering, you get a half day.
Have companies said whether or not this policy will be in place for future elections?
The election this year is especially polarizing. Companies are in some ways concerned about their employees' health. So they think they want to do this in the future. And they also are talking about how do we make sure our employees are okay just in the days after the election. So some companies are holding town halls to talk about what happened and have that be a safe place for employees to talk. Herman Miller was just telling me how, you know, a very real concern for them is in the days following the election, if there's unrest and they have retail workers working at stores, how do they make sure they're safe? So it really extends beyond just a day off on election day to what are we doing in the days following? And then is this something that we want to move forward and do in the years to come?
Free Press reporter Adrian Roberts, thank you for talking with me.
Thanks for having me.
Here are the latest coronavirus numbers. The state reported over 3,700 new cases of the coronavirus and 31 new deaths Saturday. 20 deaths were uncovered in a review of death certificates. In total, health officials have reported over 178,000 COVID-19 cases and over 7,300 deaths statewide. That's the latest. For more information on COVID-19 and to stay up to date on election coverage, visit www.freep.com.
I'm Kirkland Crawford with the Free Press Sports Department, looking back at this big weekend of football. Let's start with Saturday, when Mel Tucker made a huge splash in his first taste as head coach in the in-state rivalry. His Michigan State Spartans had the right recipe of solid defense and big play receiving in the 27-24 win over Michigan. MSU is now 1-1. So too are the Wolverines, who dropped to 3-3 against the Spartans under Jim Harbaugh. All three of those losses have come at home. Speaking of home losses, we move to Sunday and the Lions, who dropped their 7th straight home game, losing to the Colts 41-21. Matthew Stafford had over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, but had a fumble and an interception, and Indianapolis turned both those turnovers into touchdowns. The Lions, who lost Kenny Golladay, Trey Flowers, and Jamal Agnew during the game due to injuries, dropped to 3-4 on the season.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.